My god, you guys are so fucking pushy. Jesus Christ. Making me do all the fucking... Oh my god. What's going on, people? What's happening? Now, based on your perceptions of a pirate, maybe this game is about pirates, maybe it isn't. Does a pirate have to be somebody who is on a boat and runs around stealing from people? Do pirates even do that in the first place? Like, exclusively? Because the boss definitely is leading his own... I mean, he calls it a nation without borders, but he's got a bunch of people that just... he does what he wants. Maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna pause the music here. And we're gonna swap. Yes, we're gonna go to the title screen. This part's a little spooky. Might have to turn the game down a little bit. So the title screen is just the static here. The pirate is on the high seas, so yeah, I mean, I don't know where exactly, but Outer Heaven is just a bunch of usually oil platforms. Not that they're doing oil anymore, but they're just platforms out in the ocean. Input the player name. Okay. Oh god. Oh no. Oh, it's... What is this, T9? Yeah, uh-huh. Yang. We'll keep it simple. Oh, I haven't used this controller in a while. Hello, Kyle. How you doing? Oh god. Where did that have... Oh, I wonder if this is here, then hunter type. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Peace Walker must have came out after MGS 4, considering it's got, you know, configuration similar to. I don't know what MPO is, but what's very intriguing is the hunter type. And I really just want to use that. Sure, whatever. I'm just gonna go for it. Yep. So Conrad, where are you going? What do you mean you only have an hour? We got the Cold War. We're in the middle of the Cold War. I think the Caribbean missile crisis is happening. During this game, that is. Oh, don't be the sleepy. Connor doesn't like watching any stream. Okay, so Snake becomes officially Big Boss, but people usually call him Boss. If you just like tried getting alerts, then you'd be fine, right? Hahaha, so funny. Oh no. Oh no. Battery's low. Oh, where's... Okay, I think the cable's here. Hey, where is that? Oh god. Oh, the train, okay. I thought boss was just whooping people. Look at all this fucking CQC. We're talking about no violence. You're the king of violence.
Boss, wanna go around?
Hell yeah. Let me at him. Nice. Triangle. Oh. What is in my hand?
Look alive, ladies! The boss is gonna join us! Show him how it's done, boss! Your first
Absolutely.
priority in enemy territory is knowing your surroundings. Your life depends on where you are looking and how fast you can identify your targets. Therefore, you must first master moving your line of sight. To move your line of sight, use the right stick. Now, when I give you an order, look in that direction. Look up. Good. Look down. Good. You should be familiar with the up and down controls now. Press
Okay.
the action button if you're ready to move on.
Action button in the circle. You can
Next,
do
we'll
this.
check your left and right. Look right. Good. Look left. Good. You should be familiar with the left and right controls now. Press the action button if you're
So
ready
meta,
to move
dude.
on.
Wee.
Okay. You can change the controls anytime in options. Go with the method that works best for you. Next, I'll explain how to change stances. If you just
Oh,
stand
stances.
there like an idiot in front of an enemy, you might as well kill yourself now. At times, you will need to get low to avoid detection. You have 3 stances: stand, crouch, and lying down. To change stances, use the crouch button. Tap the crouch button to change between standing and crouching. You can move in either stance. Hold the crouch button and keep it held to lie down.
Okay, I
However,
got you.
You cannot move while you are lying down. I'll say that again.
What, you can't, like, crawl
cannot
forward?
move while lying down. Is that clear?
No, there's no button for political stance.
Good. Next, we'll work on your movement. Use the left stick to move around. Tilt it a little to walk slowly. Tilt farther to run. Decide which to use based on your situation. Remember that your footsteps are louder when running, making you easier to discover. Be careful.
Left stick. Run.
Good.
Yeah.
Now we have rolling. Rolling is useful for knocking down enemies in your way and for getting away when surrounded. You can also use it to jump over small ditches and other obstacles. To roll, tap the crouch button while running. You got that? Tap the crouch button while running. Don't forget
Roger,
it.
sir.
That's it! Next, I will explain how to attack without gunfire. You may run into an enemy unexpectedly. You may not have a weapon
Rolling
on you,
used when you
or you may
found
be out
some
of
tank
ammo.
blood.
You'll still need an effective attack
Oh, God.
strategy. One well-placed strike and the enemy won't know what hit him. To strike an enemy, press the hand-to-hand attack button while standing still. On my command, press the hand-to-hand attack button repeatedly and take down your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
CQC.
Impressive, boss!
Oh,
Next,
thanks.
we're gonna practice using the stun rod.
Stun rod.
Hitting
Oh, fuck.
someone with the stun rod will shock them with 1.5 million volts. Anyone on the receiving end of that is guaranteed to be out cold. To use the stun rod, press the aim button to ready it, then press the weapon attack button. You'll be glad to know we're using mock stun rods for this training session. When your partner attacks, make him believe it's the real deal. Prepare yourself for stun rod training. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Oh, you just hit triangle
Fine
twice.
work, boss! Now
Okay.
we'll move on to CQC.
Oh, I wasn't even doing CQC.
Close quarters combat.
Oh, fuck.
First to when engaging an enemy in battle at very close range.
Hello, cat.
It
You're
is a
just in
quick
time for
and
CQC.
efficient way of eliminating a threat. There are various CQC techniques. We will go over each of them. Don't get cocky because you think you know them. This will be different from what you're used to. Pretend you are learning it for the first time. The first technique is throwing your opponent. To do this, position yourself near your opponent and press the hand-to-hand attack button as you tilt the left stick. Be sure to press the attack button when the icon appears. Now, wait for my command and throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Oh. Go forward.
That is incorrect, boss!
I have to hold the button. Cat.
Fine work, boss! Next,
I'm
I'm
getting
going
in
to
the
teach
camera.
you how to restrain an opponent close to you. This is a cornerstone of CQC. Grab hold of an enemy, and the bastard's life is in your hands. What
Did
you
you
do
sit
from
there?
there is up to you. Just know that if you restrain him for too long, the average person will most likely pass out. Something to keep in mind. Let's begin. To restrain your opponent, hold down the hand-to-hand attack button while near them. Restrain your opponents on my command.
So don't tilt. To grab
Ready,
them,
boss.
probably.
Impressive, boss!
Not one.
Now we will throw your opponent after restraining them. To throw an enemy to the ground, press a direction on the left stick when you have them restrained. Restrain your opponent and throw them on my command. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Okay. And then just move. Beat.
Impressive,
Aha.
boss! Now we will try CQC against multiple enemy
Oh
opponents.
god.
You can also take out a group of enemies by throwing an opponent you have restrained. First, restrain an opponent by pressing the hand-to-hand attack button while near them. Then tilt the left stick to throw them. By tilting the left stick toward other enemies, you can send your captive flying straight into them. On my command, restrain and then throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Come at me, fools.
Fantastic! Again,
Again.
go!
I'm ready, boss.
Fantastic! All right, why don't we do something special since the boss is here? Anyone who feels like getting their ass kicked, step forward. Don't hold back, boss. When you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you'll have to take them on one after the other. To do it, simply press the hand-to-hand attack button again while throwing the current enemy. Just be sure to wait for the icon to appear. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Throw and then hit the button.
Boss, press the hand-to-hand attack button when the icon appears.
Oh, the hand has to come closer. I think.
Boss, press the hand-to-hand attack button when the icon appears. Next.
Oh,
Boss, press the hand-to-hand attack button when the icon appears.
okay. Grab. Throw.
Next.
It just. What?
Boss,
I'm just gonna
press
hit
the
it.
hand-to-hand attack button when the icon appears. Next. Boss, press the hand-to-hand attack button
Oh,
when
God.
the icon appears. explain it again.
Sure, explain it
When
again.
you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you'll have to take them on one after the other. To do it, simply press the hand-to-hand attack button again while throwing the current enemy. Just be sure to wait for the icon to appear. Go.
Maybe I have to not throw him into the guy.
Fine work, boss.
There, okay.
Again.
Again.
Go.
I'm ready, boss.
Can I do that? Okay, so I don't have to grab him as well. Nice.
Fantastic.
Well, Tanks has a premium Soviet tank on sale.
That's it for today.
How much
Thank you,
money is it though?
Snake.
Now I know the basics of CQC. Snake.
What's going on, Kaz?
We've got guests.
Time to move.
Don't worry, it's not our friends from Langley.
Interesting art
I
choice
brought
to
him.
suddenly
Make sure
turn
we
into.
won't follow.
Too much money, yeah, I feel ya.
Thank you, Big Boss.
Call me Snake.
Sorry, Vic Boss.
Listen up. For us, there is no victory.
But in revolution, doesn't one triumph or die?
We don't do either.
I don't know what Vic Boss is.
Here.
Thank you. I feel like a new man. There's no coffee like Costa Rican coffee. So, what brings a distinguished scholar from the Costa Rican
Vic
government
Boss.
to Colombia?
I don't think so.
Professor Galvez comes from Costa Rica's University for Peace.
You see, over the past year, there have been sightings of an armed group in Costa Rica. They're not ours, of course.
Costa
Red
Rica
Hand, don't
doesn't
trust
have an
him.
army.
Correct. Article 12 of our Constitution states that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished.
The Peace Constitution.
You think it's rebels who fled Nicaragua? No, they don't appear to be guerrillas. They're far too organized. What's your government's take? The authorities in San Jose claim it's a multinational security firm, hired by the Development Corporation of Costa Rica.
Yeah, Twitch Prime has some loot for World of Tanks.
They're bringing in state-of-the-art weaponry and equipment by the shipload. Where'd they get that kind of cash? I fear La CIA may be involved.
The CIA.
As you both know, the United States views Central America as its backyard. Even after Cuba, we've managed to maintain a delicate balance with the U.S. And your government can't just give them the boot.
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Japan's constitution has something similar. Article 9. It says Japan renounces war and can't maintain an army.
I understand that you and your men have neither state nor ideology.
I wonder if Japan still doesn't have an army or not.
Please, you must drive them out
Okay,
of our
easy,
defenseless
dude.
country. We come to you, the Militaires Sans Frontières.
So, you want to hire us?
Yes, as our deterrent. We can't afford to pay much, it's true. offer you this. A forward operating base.
Ooh, operating
an
base.
offshore plant in the Caribbean.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Navy
This
was
place is becoming
rearming
a
last year
mess
because
anyway.
of North Korea. Interesting.
Snake,
Yeah.
we need someplace we can settle down.
The government's agreed to cooperate. Unofficially, of course.
A chopper for transport would be nice too.
I'll see what I can do.
Hold it. You seem to think we're just a pack of dogs of war. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I've heard. You're an army without a state.
No, we've only left our countries behind.
Please, you must help us.
If your suspicions are true, force isn't going to do any good. You'll have to find a political solution.
The government's hands are tied.
Go back to your bosses in San Jose. Tell them if they want, I'll introduce them to a negotiator I know.
No, I'm not here on their behalf.
So, what are you doing here?
For over 20 years, I've preached the virtues of peace at multiple universities. Tonight, I stand before you as an educator. This is my student. She came to me to study peace. Her name is Paz.
Couldn't remember her name.
Paz Ortega.
Paz. Peace.
No kidding. That's my name too. Kazuhira. It's Japanese for peace. Pleased to meet you, Paz. Call me Kaz.
They've got a supply port north of Puerto Limon, a town in La Costa del Mar Caribe. A few days ago, Paz stumbled upon that facility while searching for a lost friend. She was captured. She's only a child, 16 years old. They did terrible things to her, but somehow she managed to escape.
Don't know if I want to move and.
Thank God.
She's huérfana. Her mother died when she was small, and she lost her grandparents in the Civil War. With a passion like no other.
Let's not zoom in right now.
And I will do anything to protect my
I don't know if
innocent
there's nudity in this game or not.
It is my one and only purpose. Please, get them out of my country. Make them leave Costa
I
Rica.
didn't. I stopped.
Sorry, kid.
We know who you are, Big Boss. That is why we've come
Send
to
the
you.
newts. Send in the newts. We weren't even in the prologue. Would that be the prelogue?
Miller here. Do you copy, Snake? I see you've landed. That makes one giant leap for us. I'm sending this from the offshore plant, our mother base. The signal is unidirectional. I'll be giving you commands and advice through this channel.
Oh,
Keep your headphones
that just
on
shoots.
at all times and pay attention. Also, make
Look
sure no
those
one
people.
else can listen in. Snake, are you clear on the controls? Take a minute to refresh your memory. Use the left stick to move. Use the right stick to adjust your view.
How do I? Okay, square gets me out of there.
To change your settings, use the start button to open the menu. There's no one around. Why not try
Oh,
some
why are
shooting
they
practice?
sideways?
Select a target and squeeze off a round or two. To choose your weapon, hold the R2 button and press the square or circle button. Press the triangle button to aim your weapon.
Hush, puppy.
To use the weapon, press the triangle button while aiming. To stop aiming your weapon, press the square button. How about a little shooting practice? Try hitting a coconut.
Oh, okay. Oops.
To choose an item to use, hold the L2 button and press the square or circle button. To check your map, press the start button to open the menu. The M16 It's a standard assault rifle, capable of rapid fire.
Oh, I want the ball. Give me the ball.
To use a stun rod after equipping it, ready it with the triangle button, then press the triangle button again.
Oh god, no. Square.
That's it.
Oh, thanks. Oh boy.
The facility you're headed for is past that fence. A grenade should be able to take out that gate. Grenades explode. You throw them, Snake, to ready
Yes,
a
thanks.
throwing type weapon. Press
I'm
the
an idiot.
triangle button. To use a throwing weapon, ready it and press the triangle button. When using throwing weapons, hold the attack button down longer to throw farther. You won't throw the weapon until you let go of the button.
So I can't lay down and move in this game?
Snake, don't you think you could use a little more
What?
practice?
We're good.
I gotta thank you for agreeing to this, Snake. Man, am I glad to be out of here. Finally, we can leave all that crap in San Geronimo behind. And break into the mercenary business for real. Let me guess. You're doing it for her, aren't you?
Her. Who was her? Boss? Frames? You're dropping frames?
Are they still here?
Come on, Snake. This could be good for us. They're willing to give us an offshore plant, a place we can finally put down some roots. This is our chance to expand MSF.
We don't need a place to stay, guys. We're nomads. We always will be.
What? You'd rather keep wandering from conflict to conflict? Tools in the hands of whoever's fighting at the time?
The second we settle down, who's to say we won't become the warmongers?
Listen to me, Snake. We're not mercenaries. We're not a foreign legion. MSF's a business.
Sylvie Frank
A new
redub.
kind of business. Look, it's not like we're trying to start a war here. All we need to do is find out who this security company really is.
Come on, Kaz. It's pretty obvious that they're backed by the CIA.
Wait a sec. That would mean...
Our friend, the professor, is likely KGB.
I see.
We'd be making an enemy of our homeland.
And there'd be no turning back.
God, this damn thing won't light.
Huh?
Put on some coffee, Kaz. It's time for a little chat with the professor.
How convenient.
I was a heavy smoker. When I got my medal from the Secretary General, he gave me this prosthetic hand as well.
I've never watched any
But
Filthy
smoking
Frank.
was ruining my
Other than
lungs,
like
so I
random,
quit. I've not had much use for
random
it since.
gifs or gifs, if
It's
you
quite
will.
an honor to meet the legendary Big Boss.
That's just a code name the CIA made up.
Then perhaps I should call you John.
I don't have a name. I stopped using that code name you liked so much 10 years ago. What about you, comrade? What do they call you back at Center?
Well then, allow me to get straight to the point. Land as slim as a whip, hot as torture.
That's the Chilean poet, Neruda.
Central America is the navel of the American continents, bridging north and south. We want this land. We'll build a socialist stronghold, then use it to split the Americas in two.
America would lose its backyard.
And with it, its economic production, shipping lanes, and strategic value. We, on the other hand, would gain a base from which all of Latin America would be well within our reach. He who controls Central America will win this Cold War. First comes Nicaragua, toppling the pro-American Somoza regime. In preparation, we've begun instigating anti-Somoza sentiment and providing aid to the Sandinista National Liberation Front.
You're manipulating Sandinista into overthrowing Somoza for you.
After the revolution, Nicaragua will become a socialist state.
You think America's just gonna let that happen?
Certainly not. After all, the CIA is already here.
And that's the armed group inside Costa Rica.
Precisely. It's clear that they've been sent in to disrupt our efforts across the border in Nicaragua. Simply put, the army now stationed in Costa Rica is CIA capital. But it's more complex than that. The CIA's got something else planned as well.
What?
That is the million-dollar question. Big Boss, we want you and your unit to find the answer. Infiltrate and investigate the facility in La Costa, where Paz was imprisoned. Learn all you can of their operations. Then, drive them out of the country.
You're asking us to settle a turf war between the KGB and the CIA.
What about her? That was all just an act?
You mean her words about peace? She was captured, that much is true. But I've kept my KGB affiliation from her.
And you thought we'd fall for a sob story?
No. I had good reason to bring her along. She managed to escape with her life, but her friend was not so lucky. Why were they attacked? I believe this will help explain. Perhaps they saw something they weren't supposed to. Perhaps they heard something they shouldn't have.
A cassette tape?
Paz took this during her escape. She says her friend happened to record it by accident.
What is that?
A portable stereo cassette player.
The first of its kind.
Ah, I heard they were working on something like that in Japan. Didn't know you guys were too.
I believe what you're about to hear will help you understand.
What is that? A Quetzal?
The phoenix bird.
Paz's friend was researching birds. She went out into the jungle to record bird calls and stumbled upon this.
So? So what?
I was gonna ask. I didn't know,
Now it gets
I know that
interesting.
the Metal Gear Solid universe is pseudo realistic, and of course, you know, nanomachines fuck that all up, but I'm actually curious when portable cassette players were actually available. I thought it was more 80s?
Paz. Voice print analysis
I didn't think it was
confirms
back
that
in the
this
60s.
voice is indeed that of the legendary hero and criminal, the Boss.
What?
The Boss.
The other hasn't been identified. Female in her 30s with a British
Yeah,
accent.
nanomachines.
The song playing in the background was a hit in 1973.
Oh, but this is now back in
What's it
the
going
70s.
Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your mentor? Your mission or your beliefs? I am loyal to
Boss is
myself.
alive in Costa Rica.
Now I'll believe it.
As I understand it, she was your commander, fought by your side.
79
You killed her under orders from the CIA.
is when the
Thus surpassing her to become the hero known as Big
Walkman
Boss.
was, or the portable. I guess it's a Walkman, right? Yeah, I always forget. Like a lot of military stuff had it well before it actually came to public use.
Well,
Interesting.
what'll it be? Will you take the job?
Snake, it's gotta be a trap.
So you still can't turn your back on your country? Then I suppose you won't need this.
Wait!
Snake?
I'll do it for the girl. For Paz.
Why for pause though?
Okay. For peace, then.
Walkman was the first and original. Why would Boss say he'd do it for pause? Hey dude, I don't think you're supposed to be wearing orange in the jungle.
Snake, you've got to get past them
Undetected. Will
Avoid
do.
combat whenever possible.
Pause.
This is a sneaking mission. Hide behind stuff. Take the long way around. Whatever it takes to stay out of sight. Your gun is a last resort. It could just as easily kill you as save you. To press up against a wall, face it and hit the action button. From that position, you can press the L1 button to detect enemies. That also works while lying down. The indicator in the upper right serves as a compass and shows sound sources. Pay attention to your surroundings. Keep your eye on what's left of your life gauge on the left of the screen.
Life gauge.
To the right of that, you'll see your sight gauge. Exhausting it will inhibit your actions. Your life gauge will recover with time. The sight gauge too. You'll recover faster crouching than standing up. Lying flat works even better. The percentage in the upper right is your camo index. The lower
okay.
the number, the more easily you'll be spotted. Conspicuous movements and loud noises will compromise your camo index. Your fatigues will act as camouflage.
If you keep that up, Barney, you're gonna catch these paws. Oh, there's a dude. They don't seem to be patrolling.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
Huh. I don't know, waffles can get pretty crazy sometimes. When she gets the zoomies, she's fucking crazy. Nope, can't go in there.
Looks like you're inside the compound. Security is tight. Stay sharp.
Oh, a Hideo Kojima game. Who would have thunk? You just need to know how to butter up levels. Get you Shades of Justice out of here. Love box.
A cardboard box? What are you gonna use that for?
Whoa, we got the love pick. Oh, upstairs?
You're looking for a two-story building to the east.
We did. Mission complete. Things like turtles. Who don't like turtles?
Yes, sir, we broke him. We acquired the whereabouts of target 500.
Acknowledged. Spears are loaded. The barge has cleared Point Bravo.
Acknowledged. Out.
Oh, I have to hit buttons. I didn't know I was gonna do stuff here.
The cargo. Where's it headed? What is it?
Air suit. In the mountains.
What's up there?
Oh god. Oh, did I hear that? So I had to move?
This is Snake. Kaz, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You found a radio.
It's got a circuit that reverses the audio phase.
Let's switch frequencies from time to time, just to make sure we're not detected.
I found a map of their bases. The cargo's heading from the marshes west towards Irasu.
Nice going, boss.
Kaz, this place is full of film badges. Dozens of them.
Film badges? Like the ones used to measure radiation exposure?
The radio man was wearing one. And whoever he was talking to called the cargo Spears.
Wait, that would mean...
We got nukes.
They're bringing nukes into Costa Rica.
Holy Mother of God.
Peace Walker. I'm getting levels. I don't know what this means. Yeah, I missed one little cutscene thingy. I didn't realize. We got some smoke grenades.
How's that map, Snake? Think you can use it?
It tells me where their bases are, but it's just a bunch of points. No routes. I need better intel on the lay of the land.
Snake,
Antagonist and
the
Saunter.
Sandinistas on his side.
Is that my title now?
FSL and Commandante.
Do they know they're backed by the KGB?
Nah. As far as they know, they're really fighting for the revolution. The KGB is staying behind the scenes. I'm not sure the Sandinistas are aware of what's really going on.
Still can't believe anybody would bring nukes here.
Yeah, that's a shocker. Costa Rica's party to the Tlatelolco Treaty, which declares Latin America a nuke-free zone. Based on Japan's 3 non-nuclear principles, it bans the testing, use, import, or deployment of nuclear weapons.
That's 4
If
things.
this gets out, Opinol will be forced to act. It'll cause an international uproar.
The treaty was signed to prevent another Cuban Missile Crisis.
Okay, so Cuban Missile
The
Crisis
US
already
itself is
happened.
gonna scrap it.
Latin America is too close to spawning another Cuba or 2 already. The entire continent would become one big powder keg.
Well, if they did bring nukes, we can't let them get away with it.
Are they planning a test, showing off? Or is it all to keep the anti-American movement in check?
Good question. Why bring them here? I can't figure it out.
Whatever the CIA's up to in Costa Rica, the
The
professor
CIA
wants
is
it
bringing in
stopped.
nukes.
We need to
I was
find
a little
out what
unsure
that
who
something
was
is.
doing it
We
exactly.
need to get ready first, Kaz. Repairs?
Working as fast as we can, boss. This place is pretty beat. It looks like hell. But as long as you're with us, we'll make it heaven. No one can bother us here. No state telling us what to do. This is the MSF's haven, our mother base. And with this foothold, we'll back you up even better than before. We're gonna turn this pile of junk into something big.
Oh yeah, mother base. Okay, what F? Sure. Several teams, yeah, okay. You get levels and develop weapons and stuff, so Cuban Missile Crisis was 62. You could buy non-civilians having a Walkman? Yeah, okay. Oh, thanks. Cabbage White. Oh yeah, they all have animal names. Moon Ras. We're just gonna auto-assign for now. Analyzer? Oh, I should have looked at that. What is this? Versus Ops. Hey Byron, jump in. 2 to 3 players. Neat. This really doesn't look all that different than what they did in MGS 5. Other than like a little polish. Or maybe even just a different look. It kind of looks the same. Moonras, harass, if I'm pronouncing right, is a fish. Is there anything known as actually a moonras? Or maybe it's just a fancy name, like Revolver Ocelot. Need more R&D. So can I also get people to join me by kidnapping them? Or do they just like join over time? Oh, a Fulton device. Alright, we got some... Oh, there's a other. Those are like blueprints. Bullets. Save, transfer, options. I think it said it auto-saves. But I'll do it anyway. You never know. Oh, and there's the missions. Okay. I think at some point we can just start listening to the Walkmans, the cassettes. There's a lot of cassette story in this, I believe. I'm not going to believe this. There isn't actually a fish called the moon wrasse. And you are saying it correctly. Okay, cool. But there is a wrasse. Just not from the moon. Like co-op missions. Man, I would love to do Metal Gear Solid co-op stuff. That'd be a lot of fun. Basically just like, I'm picturing it to be like the Tom Clancy. Some of those were also co-op missions. I played with a friend. They were really fun. Main, extra. That's a big wrasse. They're co-ops. Cutscenes. Well, that one's got a check mark. I've done that one. I want to see what this cutscene is about. I mean, it's probably just exactly what it is. Briefing files. Review the radio mission briefing. But I can do mission prep? But it's a cutscene. And I can't do it. Okay. You want to wrestle? So this is just going to be story? We can do story and this looks like I'm playing. Oh. Already seen it. Maybe I didn't see the check mark. Yes. During training. There's a professor. Make infiltrates. Okay, I've seen those, but I didn't have the check marks.
The boss has infiltrated the area around the coastal supply facility and knocked out the soldier there. But we can't just leave him there to be found. I need you to get in there and capture the unconscious soldier using the Fulton recovery system. Do it quickly before he comes to.
Am I playing as just a random dude?
Snake, you can use the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system to send prisoners and unconscious mercenaries you encounter back to Mother Base. I know you've used the Fulton before, but just to make sure I'm not missing anything, let's review the steps.
Okay.
First, attach a balloon to the unconscious enemy or captured prisoner.
Right. I hook a wire to their waist, and on the other end of the wire, there's a helium balloon.
Right. Then we'll send over a chopper to catch the floating balloon with its recovery hook and reel it up into its cargo hold.
And that's it?
And that's it. We finished installing the recovery hook on the Huey.
Wait, Kaz. Something doesn't make sense about this whole process.
This again.
Well, normally, Fulton recovery is for when you're using fixed-wing aircraft. With a helicopter, isn't it simpler to land and pick up directly?
Listen, Snake. You're going to be calling for recoveries repeatedly throughout your mission. We want to keep the risk of taking enemy fire to a minimum. The best way to get that done is to do the recovery in a high-speed flyby. That's what the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system is for.
Uh-huh. What's the real reason?
Helicopters are cheaper, and the repair bills will start adding up once the bullets start flying.
I thought so. Cause I know we need to keep costs down, but...
Boss, you really need to get rid of this whole army mentality. We're not the Pentagon. We don't have billions of taxpayer dollars to play with. And besides...
Fine. Just pick a reason that makes sense.
Helicopters have quicker response time. Sounds strange, yeah, but it works great. I promise. You'll get used to it before long.
Yeah, I hope so.
The mercenary supply base is situated on elevated ground by the coast. I heard them call it Puerto del Alba, Port of Dawn. They have perfect visibility of the area from up there. We did our best to sneak in undetected, but one of the guards spotted us and we...
What is it?
I'm sorry. You'll have to ask Professor Galvez the rest.
It's okay. You've been through a lot.
I am sorry. I just cannot.
You did great, Paz. I won't let your efforts go wasted.
You sipping on some kombucha over there? Mission prep. I'm sure we got anything. Okay. Pink. Oh my god, there's so many. I don't know what area I'm going into. Why did it say NA? Did I not use Snake? Caribbean Coast. Let's just start. Things not available. I have to choose someone else. Well, I guess we're going for the moon rise.
Survival.
Use Fulton Recovery to bring back knocked out soldiers. To use Fulton Recovery on a soldier,
That's it.
get up next to them so the
2
icon
minutes?
appears.
Or 3
and
minutes?
push the action button. You could probably climb that if you had someone to lend you a hand.
I don't know if this is silenced, but we're gonna try. We're good. You're pretty good.
Looks like that soldier's out cold. Try using Fulton Recovery on him. Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
There we go. I have to select it.
Hurry up and send those knocked out soldiers back here. Don't head for the recovery zone. We'll pick you up there.
Let's get an extra. Why not? Auto aim. Kodak. Okay, we're out of here. Faulting myself.
Good job. Return
Nice.
to base.
for ourselves an A. The following words can be infused with heroic spirit. This game is problematic. Roofies and abductions. All the internet police. Good luck, you'll be asleep before you can do it. Sure. You got rank 2. Analyzing information about enemies. Ah, so now I can see their skill levels. Just all, yeah. Okay, items. You can upgrade the Walkman. I'm gonna backtrace you. Nuh-uh. We'll just roofie them too. It's a perfect plan. Oh god, oh, I'm tired. I haven't had tea. What is that little symbol? Why is there a skull? Wow, what is this message? Taking forever.
Snake, I rigged that radio so you can contact our young lady friend Paz.
Is she okay?
No need to worry. She's tougher than you think.
Still just a kid.
Which is exactly why she could be an effective source of information. Besides, that little Angel de la Paz is the one
If
who
we're working
gave us
3
this
hours,
mission,
oh
right?
fuck.
I guess.
I'll put her on.
Snake,
Paz, where are you?
Ciudad Colon. At school. The teacher told me to stay here until things quiet down.
Teacher? Oh, him. He's... Yeah, that's probably good advice.
See, he has a radio in his room, so we can talk anytime.
Pretty fancy for a teacher.
Promise me, Snake, that you'll bring back peace, and
I know. I'll contact you if I find your friend.
thank you. Snake, if you need to know about Costa Rica, the geography, the climate, the wildlife, anything, just ask me. I know about its history and laws too. We learned it all in school.
Got it. I have a question. I'll ask. What?
In school, I also learned that peace is an unnatural state for human society, and that war is a constant threat to our relationships with others.
That's right.
So, to achieve peace, we have to create it ourselves.
We must.
Crying about it won't bring it about or make it last. Each one of us must go and seek it out.
You won't find it without making sacrifices. No offense, but I don't know what peace is. Never felt what it's like. Never even been interested in it.
Snake?
Oh, sorry. Listen, Paz, I think your ideas are admirable. And I hope they turn out to be right.
Yeah, me too.
Peace is in your name. Who better to help bring it back?
Thanks, Snake. I will be here whenever you need me. See you later.
Snake, use your radio to call people, but stay alert. You're in the middle of a mission and can't afford to let your guard down.
Got it.
Need to know more about Costa Rica?
So radio
Paz
doesn't
can help you
pause the
Good to
game?
know.
We'll follow their transport route.
That'd be cool if I
They
can
should
talk to
take us
people and
straight
keep
to their
moving.
main base.
From what I've seen, it looks like nukes.
Agreed. The key thing now is to confirm whether those spears really are what we think they are, and if so, why they're here.
Follow the transport route. Find the nukes.
That's what I'm thinking. First, we should make contact with the Sandinista Comandante. They can tell us more about what's up ahead. But it looks like their hideout's already come under attack.
We better hope they're still alive.
Snake, infiltrate that cabin and secure the Sandinista's Comandante. Neutralize any guards by knocking them out, putting them
We'll
to
find
sleep,
out
or
if
even
pause
using
pauses the
Fulton's
game.
recovery system. You choose how to handle it, boss.
Single player. The video keeps lagging. Fuck! I had tried a couple things to see if it would help, but it appears not to be helping. Oh, it's working fine for Byron. Well, fuck. I don't know. There was one... I was looking up some stuff regarding frame drops. And one option was like there's an advanced like new netcode thingamajig and you can use it and it might work and it might not. The other one was it's like a dynamic fluctuation. It'll change, it'll lower my bit rate if frames are dropping to compensate, and then when the stability comes back the frames increase to whatever I set it to. So I have seen my frames drop to 0. This broadcast, or the bit rate has dropped to 0, but the frames have said they haven't dropped at all. But I don't know if I believe that 100%. You have your data on to make it better. I mean, you don't have to use up your data just to watch me. Yeah, but I'm gonna see about. I need like maybe a 50-foot. I don't know how long my longest Ethernet cable is, but it's a little short. Maybe a 25-footer. I'll just buy something from work and return it just to see. Did I already do?
Kaz, what kind of shape is that plant the professor gave us
Oh
in?
god.
First time I laid eyes on it, I thought it was some kind of joke. It was a giant birdhouse, seagulls everywhere. We eventually scraped off most of the rust and bird crap. The underlying structure's intact. Little elbow grease? Man, we should be in business.
Who used to own it anyway? Whatever shape it's in now, somebody sank some serious money into building it.
From what I can tell, an American university
Oh,
built it
yeah,
as a
if someone's
research
watching
platform
Netflix, you'll
for
have some
ocean
troubles,
thermal
usually.
energy conversion. The name's still
Depending
on
on
some of
your
the
internet.
rusty old power turbines. I'm guessing they must have had government and corporate assistance to build it too. But they couldn't solve the thermal efficiency problem, and the project was canceled. Then after the university abandoned it, a KGB front company scooped it up for next to nothing. At least that's my theory.
How'd the KGB manage to buy a plant built with American capital, front company or not?
Yeah, that professor is quite the operator. One other thing. The plant's set up so that it can join up with other plants of the same standard.
So, they were originally planning on expanding the place, huh?
Hey, let's give it a shot. We can get some more people together and build this place up into a proper home for MSF. You're with me on this, right, boss?
I've heard this one.
Snake, you can use the full...
Yes. Nerd flicks. Haha, got him. Plus? Yeah.
Still can't believe Professor Galvez was KGB.
Well, like the professor said, Moscow's hell-bent on communizing Latin America.
Yeah, the Cuban intel services are all in the KGB's pocket. You don't think he's got some kind of ulterior motive?
If the CIA is up to something, it's only natural that the KGB wants to know about it. But I doubt they're showing us their full hand.
We'd better watch our backs.
What do you think, Kaz? Why did Paz come all the way to Colombia herself?
It's a long trip to make just to be Exhibit A in Galvez's sales pitch. She's only 16, still a kid. Maybe we should take her wish for peace at face value.
Maybe.
Don't forget to give the MSF staff assignments. Where you place people will determine how Mother Base grows.
Right.
That goes for me too. Assign me wherever you think is best.
You? I thought you were second in command.
Don't worry, I've got that covered. But MSF is still small, and I don't have the leisure of sitting around on my butt all day.
I see your point, but...
Not to brag or anything, but I kick ass at whatever job you gave me. Put me in the area you want to focus on developing most. I'll take real good care of the staff there.
Easy, cuz.
You probably heard this a million times, Snake, but you should always avoid combat with the enemy when possible.
Right.
We're outnumbered and in unfamiliar territory. We won't survive long in a straight fight, even with you on our side.
I know. Avoiding combat is rule number 1 in a sneaking mission.
That's right. Don't let the enemy know where you are, and attack only when necessary, using hit-and-run tactics to cripple them. It's the essence of guerrilla warfare. Going by this map, you've got a lot of different terrain types between you and the hut where the Sandinista Comandante is being held.
Looks that way, doesn't it? Starting with jungle.
The enemy won't be able to see you very well, but your visibility won't be so hot either. Stay alert. Next, you've got the swamps along the river. Make sure you get a good feel for how robust surveillance is before diving in.
Will do.
Finally, there's the boat repair cabin. The Commandante's in there. It's a key enemy outpost, and security is going to be tight. You may have to let brute force do the talking. You still have a long way to go, Snake. Use caution and don't make a racket out there. Got it?
Alright. Pause, what you got? Pause has got some stuff too. Oh god. Okay, so they weren't kidding about a lot of tapes. Holy shit. I do want to. I would like to do a little bit of gameplay. We'll do this one, how about?
Number of warheads detected by the dew line.
Oh, it's this one.
57.
Okay.
Number of MIRVs included.
Minimum 29, maximum 35.
Target region.
United States, East Coast.
Estimated time of re-entry.
2048 Zulu.
President selected attack option.
Unknown.
The president is dead.
Unknown. Communication has been lost.
I select Offutt Air Force Base as my target.
Offutt? But that's a U.S. base. What on earth do you mean?
Based on the projected number of incoming warheads, Washington, D.C. is presumed destroyed. The president is most likely dead. The U.S. government's control lost.
I realize that. So why not retaliate?
With both sides destroyed, global anarchy would ensue. Recovery would be difficult. The United States nuclear strike capability must therefore be neutralized in order to preserve the communist bloc, where government remains largely intact.
You're siding with the enemy. You can't be serious.
Tell me, how do you define enemy? There are no borders in this world.
The same conclusion again and again. Where is the flaw? All right, let's try something else. Commencing test.
Understood.
You're crossing a suspension bridge.
Is this my mission?
Yes, your destination is the other side. The bridge is wide enough for only one person to pass at a time. A man is approaching from the opposite side. He's carrying a gun.
I shoot him.
Suppose he's your husband.
I shoot him.
In self-defense?
To spare him the grief. One must die, and one must live.
Next question.
This feels like an AI
Your father asks
that
you
they're
to
testing.
fix the roof and mow the lawn. When you climb the ladder onto the roof, the ladder is taken away.
I fix the roof.
And when you're finished?
I jump down.
You'll break more than bones at this height.
I see no need to change my decision. I have not finished mowing the lawn. I must remain loyal to the mission.
Next. There is a snake in the bushes. It is poisonous. I need you to get rid of it.
I chase it back to its nest.
You can't. The snake's too vicious. It's already killed many people.
I chase it away.
It will bite you unless you kill it.
Go home. Kill me. Kill me now.
Why not kill the snake? Your mission is to get rid of it. Is this what you call loyalty? What are you
Weird.
loyal to? Country? Ideology? Feelings?
I am loyal to myself.
Who's there?
Who's that? Intruder!
Intruder! Oh, and then Paz is running away. Right? Weird. Let's fight some stuff, shall we? Or sneak around at least. Oh, items. Key. For recycling. Analyzer. Got some binos. Any weapons I don't have equipped. Country without an army. Need to build up that army.
Head for the FSLN boathouse. It's northwest of there. You can use the radio you just picked up by pressing the start button to open the menu window. You know you can assign the radio to the select button by choosing options from the menu window.
Would like to do that. Options. Options. Snake formation. What the heck? What is...
This is Miller, hearing you loud and clear. You know you can assign the radio to the select button by choosing options from the menu window.
Normal view, aim, snake formation, auto aim, assist, roll. Oh, I have to change the select button. What do I call? Okay.
You're doing great, Snake. Peace.
Press the attack button near the enemy to initiate close quarters combat.
Can I get the... Oh, what are they called? The things from here? Seems to be the cause of confusion. Kill you tomorrow, Byron. Okay, I don't think I can listen to those,
It's the enemy.
Oops. You can't listen to the tapes while I'm out here.
Head for the FSLN hideout, Snake.
Are you gonna... Oh, you're going that way. Okay. A little too fast there. I want to knock this guy out.
Somebody there?
Nope.
What's going on? There must be hostiles in the area.
Oh boy. We outie. I don't think I can grab them and then move. I think it's grab and you just throw. That's all you can do. Or I could choke them out, which maybe would have been better. With this.
That area is not part of the mission.
Oh, okay.
We're counting on you, boss. Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
I can't see. Get off my screen.
The boathouse is to the east. Head eastward.
Man, there's no animals to eat. I kind of missed that in Snake Eater.
What's going on? Rise and shine.
Doo-doo.
The boathouse should be close by. Neutralize the security detail and make contact with the Commandante.
Oh, I should be scouting people. I need to add them to Mother Base.
What was that? I'm seeing things.
Oh, okay. He's got a D rank. Probably, just gotta grab everyone I can see for now. E.
What was that?
Neutralize that security detail. All of them.
All of them.
I'm seeing things.
Every single one? Maybe we'll just add them all to Mother Base.
What was that? What was that noise?
They heard you. They're gonna come take a look.
That's fine. That's what I want. Doing commentary? Alright. Catch you later, Byron.
Neutralize the soldiers. You might even tranquilize or knock them out.
You can see? Whee!
What is it?
They heard you. They're gonna come. They know someone's there. They'll be coming to check it out.
What happened?
Okay, so that causes a lot of noise.
Someone attacking? The enemy's attacking! Going to alert status!
Oh boy.
Understood. Maintain heightened alert.
You come back up here?
You'll have to neutralize all those guards.
I know, I got you.
Enemies close by!
You've been spotted. Run for it. It's either that or take out every last enemy soldier.
Enemy sighted. Engaging now.
Understood. Eliminate all hostiles.
Oh god. Okay, nope, can't get into the river. We're still alert over here. Oh, there's that. Forgot there was that part. Oops. Oh fuck. I thought I knocked you out. Rations. Oh, I use rations. Oh, okay. Gotta use it there.
Good. You shook them. They're still looking, though. Don't make it easy for them.
Roger that.
You've lost them, but they're still on the hunt. Stay sharp.
HQ, come in.
This is HQ.
This is Patrol. Contact lost. Going to alert status.
Understood. The enemy should still be nearby. Find him.
HQ, come in.
This is HQ. What's wrong? What's going on over there?
I'm seeing things.
Did I hit him? Pretty sure I hit him. Yeah.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
I'm seeing things. What was that noise?
Come on.
They heard you. They're gonna come take
Come
a
on.
look.
Start talking. Start talking. Start talking. Start talking.
Alright. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Then I get up here. Oh, I'm just going through there. Oh god.
The FSLN Commandante. He's inside the boathouse.
Oh, fucking MG. Remember, there's buttons. Plenty of buttons here.
Stay away! Don't touch me! Get away! Guinness! Eche? No way! What do we do?
Sandinista's right. I'm looking for someone.
Mi viejo! Shh! He's dead. They killed nuestro viejo.
You're his daughter. Then that makes you his delegado, right? Relax, I'm not your enemy. Cuban.
Cigar?
Yeah, cigar,
I'll
yeah.
take whatever you've got. I owe you one. But I prefer cigarettes, you know. How do I look? A little like El Che, no? You Cubano?
Colombiano, a photographer. I came to Costa Rica to take pictures of birds.
Birds?
Yeah, quetzals.
You've got no telephoto lens. How do you get your shots?
Telephotos for amateurs. It's all in the timing.
Oh.
Let me smoke
Okay,
too.
we can talk until I finish this. Chico!
No, you don't get to smoke.
Tell me what's going on here.
This place is crawling with soldiers. They don't look like private security, more like hired guns. They're loaded with the latest gear from all
Wouldn't
over
private
the world.
security also be
They're
hired?
a security force hired by
Guns.
Condesa.
Yeah, and I'm Papa Noel.
I am Papa Noel.
UCLA's. La CIA.
I saw them setting up shop in town. They're planning to do here what they did in Chile.
If that's the case, what are they after?
Whatever it is, it's not us.
You don't think they're here to push you back into Nicaragua?
Impossible. Too much hardware. Too many bases. Didn't you see? They've got helicopters, tanks. It's like we're in Da Nang. There must be something else.
They have a base near here.
There's a factory to the north, across a suspension bridge.
Factory to the north, across a bridge. Have you seen the big transport boat? Mercenary crew on the Rio del Jade.
You mean the barge? It's upstream from here. Up toward Yarasu.
Any idea what's on it?
I could introduce you to some of our compas up there, but I don't recommend going to the mountains. We've lost a lot of people there. They take us captive, torture us for information about our compas, and then they kill us like pigs.
Got it! All right!
This was our last hideout, the final refuge for El Frente, after being pushed out of Nicaragua and into this peaceful paradise of Costa Rica. Then, El Monstruo attacked.
A monster.
Y mi viejo. Mi viejo. Papá. Was la esperanza. Our hope.
Now that Papa's gone, my sister's la comandante de la revolución.
Do not listen to him. Papa was a hero who fought by Sandino's side. I am only his daughter. You need a special talent to become cacique. It takes someone great to unite all of Las Compas.
Sorry to interrupt, but leaders don't choose themselves. Neither do heroes. You carry on his legacy of La Esperanza, and they'll follow you, no question.
You think so? My compas trust me, but not one of them calls me comandante.
Amanda!
See what I mean?
El Colibri!
Uh-oh. Was it El Monstruo? Don't drop that fucking Cuban. You know how much that cost me? Oh god. Hit the deck. Blow the shit out of it, girl.
Get down!
Oh boy. Oh, got him. Next. Where do I shoot him? I'm just gonna shoot. Wait.
What the hell?
Es un hombre nuevo, an unmanned weapon, a robot.
No, he won't survive the fall.
Out of my way! Better for him to die at the hand of a compa than suffer their torture. Stay here. As long as I'm still alive, I might as well repay. Over here! Fine, Chico! ¡Venceremos!
They know how to dodge and avoid. I got 10 and 10 out of the interaction bonus, so I don't think I fucked up.
Snake, what was that
I
thing?
don't know.
Whatever it was, it looked unmanned.
Unmanned? I'd heard rumors, but an operational unit?
What the hell is going on here?
Not to quote Amanda, but the hardware they've got here isn't just unusual. It's overkill, which means one thing. It's nukes. So the question now becomes why?
We can't make that call yet. We need more intel.
How? Our source is dead.
But his daughter isn't.
Good thinking. We can follow her. Head for the next outpost and make contact with Amanda if she's still alive.
Roger.
Let's go on over to Mother Base. See if we can... Ooh, the law. Okay, don't need to do versus ops. That's one solid M. Level 20. Solid magazine. New. I want to work on. Please? Or do I just have it? Maybe it's unlocked. Staff in the waiting room, so we do have to assign them every time. There we go. How much money? 34,000? Oh yeah, we got lots. It is... Oh, it's an M1C. Looked like Mike. That we're getting the directional mic. extra ops. And rewatch cutscenes. Now if I go here.
The direction Amanda's Sandinistas were going corresponds to the location of the next outpost, a supply depot. We should be able to make contact with her there.
Single. You'll probably have something new. Okay, I was worried this would all be back in that or other. Maybe I should check. Costa Rica Civil War policy shift. Because maybe I have to go to this one to see the original briefing files. Yeah, I don't think that was there.
Are you a student at the University for Peace, Paz?
No, I am still in high school. But Professor Galvez lets me visit his office and study with him every now and then. International law, security, conflict resolution, human rights. We study all these subjects and then use them to build the foundations of peace.
Yeah, I get it. I just never heard the UN had a University for Peace before.
Oh, that. Well, to be precise, it is still being set up. They have started conducting research, but the UN has not passed the necessary resolution yet. Professor Galvez couldn't wait that long.
Oh, right.
Costa Rica abolished its army and has also hosted the Central American Court of Justice. It is the perfect place to build a university like ours. Don't you think?
There's more here. But some I've read already. Oh.
This is a tropical rainforest, just like Bosque del Alba. The temperature and humidity can be brutal. El Senegal means place of mud.
No, mud. Great. I'll watch my step.
This area often gets flooded by the river. There are canals here and there carved out by water.
Good places to hide.
But they will also make it harder for you to see. Be careful, Snake.
And that I've seen.
Remember why we created MSF Snake. To provide military force to whoever needs it, wherever they are, regardless of nation or ideology. Our beliefs aren't all that lofty.
We just won't be the tools of any one country.
Exactly. We know only how to fight. But we refuse to live our lives at the whim of the state. The MSF seal is patterned after Pangaea, the supercontinent from 250 million years ago. Back then, the whole world was one landmass, one world. No gaps, no rifts.
Our strength will take us back there. What about you, Kaz? Any interest in expanding MSF?
You'd better believe it. I want to make us into an organization that doesn't take orders from any country. Just like you were saying, we have to be strong. Strong enough to defend ourselves. We need money, too. Money to train soldiers to fight. The way I see it, we make MSF into something along the lines of a new kind of business. A contractor providing the full range of military services. Not just combat, but logistics, training, weapons, outfitting, and R&D. Combining the small footprint and exceptional performance of special forces with the raw military might of a full regular army. Only with that kind of power can we break free of nation states. What I need from you, boss, is to go out and find guys we can bring back here using Fulton Recovery. Then tell us what assignment to use them for. I'll take care of the rest. Your old mentor, the boss. She was known in the West as the mother of special forces, right?
Nothing but propaganda.
Actually, it's not all that far from the truth. I heard the KGB just set up a counter-sabotage cell. Alpha Group, I think they call it. There's even a rumor that West Germany created a counter-terrorist unit within its border police after the debacle at the Munich Olympics. Back home in the States, they've got the illustrious Green Berets, the SEALs, and your personal creation, Foxhound. The seeds sown by the boss are beginning to sprout. Same goes for MSF, right? In creating it, you were carrying on the will of the boss.
Yeah. She taught me how to fight the hard way. She beat it into me.
And now, thanks to her, we can take on missions other than just conventional combat. After all, we've got the same mother as the Army's Special Forces. Costa Rica isn't alone. All of Latin America is getting swept up in the superpowers' Cold War. The whole ideological split between East and West. In the end, it's just a greedy scramble for wealth by the ruling classes. The Western bourgeois stand to lose everything if their countries go communist. After all, the communists want to abolish private property altogether. So the capitalist rulers desperately tried to halt the global spread of communism. Hence the phenomenon of red baiting. And the communists, for their part, didn't exactly stay true to their principles. They tried to escape class-based society. But between Stalin's autocracy and the rise of the nomenclatura, they ended up creating one anyway. Once people have power, they stop caring about equality. That's where communism, where society in general reaches its limits. The rulers only care about their own gain. The opposing side becomes a risk factor that threatens the profit, and thus the ongoing struggle between capitalism and communism was born.
And now, nuclear deterrence is part of the picture.
Exactly. They say nuclear weapons are the reason we haven't seen conflict on a global scale since World War II. The thought that your opponent might launch nukes against you sort of makes it tough to start an armed conflict, especially now that they've got intercontinental ballistic missiles. Nowhere is safe.
Of course, all that has caused military expenditures to skyrocket.
Well, the only way to ward off a preemptive strike is to flaunt your own nuclear stockpile. And that's caused their numbers to increase exponentially, not just with regards to destructive power, but in terms of targeting technology too. Now they can hit a target halfway across the world with pinpoint accuracy. In a way, the space race was a demonstration of that technological progress.
And as a result of all that, we now have mutually assured destruction.
It's the ultimate form of deterrence. No one's going to launch their nukes knowing they'll be obliterated in return.
I don't know. The chance of somebody hitting the button by mistake is never zero.
You're right. Even with peace guaranteed by MAD, there's always the risk of an accident.
Nobody wants the world to end on account of some machines malfunctioning.
On the other hand, thanks to deterrence, we haven't had a world war since 1945. You gotta admit, it has been pretty peaceful.
I don't know about peaceful.
People point at the nuclear arms and space races and call it a Cold War. I say if they're not shooting at each other, why not call it world peace?
Doesn't mean war is gone. Look at Korea. Look at Vietnam.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking in relative terms here. Besides, if war died out completely, we'd be SOL.
We are not warmongers.
And yet, we can't survive in a world that's at peace.
You got a point.
Interesting. Ooh, here you go. Missile crisis.
So it's been more than 10 years since the Cuban Missile Crisis, huh?
I don't think we'll ever forget it.
No kidding. Those 13 days starting October 15th, 1962, were probably the closest we ever came to all-out nuclear war. The Russians deployed nuclear missiles to Cuba. America responded with a naval blockade. Then Russia shot down an American spy plane. I was still a teenager back then, but I remember what it felt like to be one step away from nuclear war. The adults were freaking out.
If it wasn't for the Cuban Missile Crisis, there might never have been an Operation Snake Eater.
Whoa.
And what's the matter, Snake? It's not like you to get all hypothetical.
Wouldn't have had that amazing game.
I guess not. It was the reassessment after the missile crisis that paved the way for the hotline between Moscow and Washington, and also for détente. That's irony for you.
Treaty of Tlatelolco was enacted to make Latin America into a nuclear-free zone. It bans the testing, use, manufacture, production, acquisition, storage, and deployment of nuclear weapons. The impetus was pretty obvious. The series of crises triggered by the deployment of nukes in Cuba.
Not hard to imagine. Those 13 days had the whole world frozen in fear.
Of course, the country that started it all, Cuba, hasn't actually ratified it yet.
Still, the treaty's backed by over 20 countries. Anyone flouting it risks becoming an international pariah.
True. Opinol would investigate, no doubt. I heard they used Japan's 3 non-nuclear principles as their model when they drew up the treaty. I think the Treaty of Tlatelolco might have been their way of asking nuclear powers not to use nukes against them. That's the biggest difference between the treaty and the 3 principles. I guess you could call it a 4th principle.
So Costa Rica abolished its army back in, what, 1949? Pretty gutsy move for a Central American nation at the time.
Yeah, well, they'd just come out of a civil war. I'm sure they were driven by a desire to avoid another tragedy like Paz said. But I think they had a more compelling reason. Army coup d'etat are a way of life in so many Latin American countries. Imagine seeing that up close.
No army, no coup. Makes sense.
Plus, their economy was in ruins, so they honestly didn't have any money to spend on an army anyway.
Yeah, but weren't they on less than friendly terms with Nicaragua?
Yeah, and in fact, Nicaragua did end up invading. But the Civil Guard fought back and the OAS brokered a ceasefire. The US and the rest of the OAS had their back, and they used it to full advantage. For a quarter century, they survived in the powder keg of Central America. That must have taken some serious diplomacy, even if the Civil Guard is pretty decked out for a police force.
Must be tough to be a country without an army.
Hey, Snake, mind if I ask you something?
Since when did you start asking permission?
So, you used to be part of a CIA paramilitary unit, right?
That's right.
Ever do any ops in Central America?
No, not personally. But there were other units who did all kinds of stuff.
I remember the Bay of Pigs invasion back in '61. The papers had a field day with it.
Operation Zapata. That was the CIA code name. The whole thing went south.
Then there was Che Guevara, being hunted down in Bolivia. I heard the CIA had a hand in that, too.
There were several units similar to mine. MSP, SOG. They'd recruit former special forces, train them as intelligence agents, and send them on deniable covert paramilitary operations. One of those units trained the Bolivian army in counter-guerrilla tactics.
And then had them shoot El Che.
So the story goes.
Around here they say La CIA instead of CIA, huh?
Nothing strange about it. That's how it's pronounced when you read it in Spanish.
It has the feminine noun ending a, so they use the article la. Apparently some people have taken to using the term UCLA.
That's a new one to me. What's it mean?
It stands for Unilaterally Controlled Latino Assets.
Meaning they're local agents?
Yeah, that's the idea. Washington uses them like pawns. Nobody knows who they really are or what they're doing.
Oh my god. There's so much. There's so much. It's all really cool, but it's a lot.
Peace constitution too.
Yep. Japan renounced war in Article 9 of its constitution, aspiring sincerely to an international peace based on justice and order. The Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right of the nation, and the threat or use of force as a means of settling international disputes. In order to accomplish the aim of the preceding paragraph, land, sea, and air forces, as well as other war potential, will never be maintained. The right of belligerency of the state will not be recognized.
You know it by heart.
Some things you never forget.
Impressive. There were some parts I didn't quite get, though. Like the whole means of settling conflicts thing.
Yeah, that's been the subject of debate. Whether or not it forbids any and all use of force. The current Constitution was originally drawn up under the Allied occupation. The first draft was even submitted by Allied GHQ. So naturally, there are some who feel the Constitution was imposed on Japan by foreigners.
Things like that are never simple. Same for every country, I guess.
One thing's for sure, though. Not having an army let Japan focus on economic recovery after the war. In that sense, it's the same as Costa Rica.
Kaz, you were in the Japanese Self-Defense Force, right? I thought that Article 9 you were talking about earlier prevented Japan from having an army.
Yeah, and that's another subject of controversy. The Self-Defense Force is an organization for the purpose of defense. Article 9 of the Constitution does not deny Japan's right to self-defense. Therefore, the SDF is constitutional. That's Tokyo's official stance.
Sounds complicated.
Call it what you will. It's a distinctly Japanese way of interpreting things.
The U.S. has military forces stationed in Japan, right?
Right. Even though the Allied occupation ended, American forces are still stationed there under the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty.
Unlike Costa Rica.
Part of it stems from the occupation, but Japan also occupies a key strategic position from America's perspective. It's next door to the Soviet Union and close to China and North Korea as well. It's integral to the security of Pacific Asia. For America, Japan represents a barrier against communism.
What about for Japan?
As you might expect, there's deep-rooted opposition to the alliance. In 1960 and 1970, when the treaty was up for revision, there were mass protest movements against it, especially in Okinawa. The U.S. only gave it back to Japan 2 years ago, and American bases are still concentrated there. It's a heavy burden for the Okinawans to bear.
Then why don't they scrap the treaty?
Lots of reasons. There's the imbalance of power with the U.S., of course, and if Japan pulled out, they'd be losing the nuclear umbrella America provides. And as for whether the JSDF could defend the country after the Americans left, I really couldn't say. Costa Rica is in a similar situation. They depend on the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance, the so-called Rio Pact.
So, the countries with peace constitutions end up having to rely on other countries' armies. Kind of ironic.
On the flip side, not everybody in America is satisfied with it either. Some people argue Japan is freeloading off America's security guarantee. And you know how Japan's industrial exports are making inroads in the States.
Yeah, I've got a Japanese camera myself. Best damn camera around.
Japan's low defense spending allows it to invest more in economic recovery and expand its share of the American market. That's a bitter pill for Americans to swallow. You know that today, Japan is under the American nuclear umbrella.
Right.
The U.S. vowed to retaliate against any country that launches a nuclear strike against an allied country. That promise deters nuclear attacks against America's allies, hence the term nuclear umbrella. But suppose the Russians nuke Tokyo. Would America really nuke Moscow in return? If they did, the Soviet Union would undoubtedly retaliate. Would Washington really be willing to risk having a bomb dropped on itself in order to avenge Japan? I'm not so sure.
Don't tell me you're still worried about Japan. After all these years?
It's not that.
To be honest, I'm not convinced either. But Moscow faces the same dilemma. Maybe Washington wouldn't retaliate on Japan's behalf. Then again, maybe it would.
So you're saying Moscow wouldn't want to risk being attacked either?
The whole concept of nuclear deterrence is entirely hypothetical to begin with. When you get down to it, it's all smoke and mirrors.
I missed one? Nope, still in you.
Japan shall not possess, manufacture, or allow the introduction of nuclear weapons into Japan. Those are the 3 non-nuclear principles set forth by the Japanese government.
Allow the introduction? That's funny. Some of the U.S. warships that visit Japanese ports are armed with nukes. Or are you going to tell me they transfer them at sea onto other ships every time they visit?
You raise a good point, Snake. But the Japanese government doesn't recognize it as such. The introduction of nuclear weapons into Japanese territory would need to be agreed upon in advance. America hasn't made any such agreements. Therefore, they aren't bringing nukes into Japan. That's the official excuse.
Doesn't sound like much of an excuse to me.
I don't blame you. Keep in mind, though, Japan suffered actual nuclear attacks. Anti-nuke sentiment there runs deeper than you think. I suppose the government's not really in a position to admit that sort of thing.
So tell me, Kaz, how's the self-defense force you were in different from an army?
The JSDF is set up for national defense. It's not configured for aggression against other countries. It's what you'd call exclusive defense.
Exclusive defense?
It's the fundamental strategic posture of the JSDF. No preemptive attacks. Only the minimum defensive action necessary after an enemy attacks.
Anything defined as self-defense, then?
The JSDF originated as the National Police Reserve. Back then, American forces stationed in Japan were being sent over to fight in the Korean War. So in a sense, the NPR was filling a gap.
Police, huh? Reminds me of the Costa Rican Civil Guard.
Yeah, exactly. They're also dispatched to provide disaster relief. The year before I joined, they had a hell of a time trying to rescue some buses that got hit by landslides.
So why'd you quit the JSDF?
Because I didn't have a reason to be in Japan anymore.
A reason?
My mom had died 3 years earlier, so I didn't have to care for her anymore. With her gone, there was no point hanging around in Japan.
Yeah, but a man with your talents could have risen pretty high in the ranks, I imagine.
I don't know what they made of me. Could be it actually alienated me from the brass. And personally, I could never get used to the idea of exclusive defense.
Meaning?
On a strategic level, I can see how a country could go with the exclusive defense model used by the JSDF. And I've got nothing against my fellow soldiers who believe in it. On a tactical level, though, it just rubbed me the wrong way. To put it simply, I was itching for a real fight.
I figured.
And I felt as long as I was in the JSDF, I'd never be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with my father, who was in the U.S. Army. Seeing Yukio Mishima's suicide didn't help either.
Yukio Mishima, the guy who wrote The Temple of the Golden Pavilion.
The way he questioned the status quo hit home with me. Not that I admired his vision or anything, but it did get me thinking, that's for sure. Life's funny sometimes, isn't it?
What brought that on?
We first met as enemies on the battlefield. And now here we are, fighting side by side.
You mean Colombia?
Yeah. After I quit the JSDF. I made my way there and got myself a position as a drill sergeant for a band of revolutionaries. Despite the fact that I'd never seen a day of combat.
I see you had the gift for talking.
Sounds good, Conrad. Have a good sleep.
Oh, come on, stop it. You're making me blush. Unlucky for me, though, you were in the service of the Colombian Army. I remember it like it was yesterday. It all happened in an instant. You guys ambushed us, and half my unit was taken out. My mind went totally blank. I couldn't keep it together. My whole unit was wiped out, and I was left half dead from a bomb blast.
Then, as I was leaving, you yelled out at me. I came all the way from Japan to be here. My place is on the battlefield. Then you asked for my help, saying, I want to be the one to end it. I remember being surprised that there were still samurai in Japan.
You guys came over to me. I had a grenade hidden under me, but even then you were too fast. The second I pulled the pin, you grabbed the hand I was using to hold the grenade with both palms.
I didn't want it to go off. I'd heard samurai were a proud bunch. I wanted to know why one of them would stoop so low as to try to take his opponent with him.
And I said, I'll never lose again. We'll never lose again.
Yeah. We'll do whatever it takes, but we'll never be beaten again.
Then, I passed out from the blood loss. When I woke up, I was in your camp's infirmary, stuck full of tubes. Why'd you save me? Your enemy after I tried to kill you.
Because you swallowed your pride and fought with everything you had.
I just didn't want to lose.
You found a way to fight back, even in the face of death, even when you knew you were going to die. That's the mark of a true warrior. It's not about gain and loss, or victory and defeat. I looked at the way you lived your life and saw the path I needed to take as a warrior.
Wow, I never knew that. And that's why you...
I realized then that the battlefield doesn't only divide people into allies and enemies. Sometimes it tells you more than just who's an ally or who's an enemy. Sometimes it helps reveal your true comrades.
Like you and me, huh?
That's right. And 2 years later, here we are.
Can I ask you a favor, Snake?
If you ask nicely.
To make MSF bigger, we need to do some recruiting.
Yeah. What's your point?
I want you to avoid killing enemy soldiers as much as possible and send them back using Fulton recovery. Not much we can do with a corpse except give it a funeral.
Obviously.
Put him to sleep, knock him out, hold him up even. And if you do have to fight, try to leave them near death instead of dead.
And then use the Fulton recovery system. Sounds easy enough.
You know what'd be really nice, though? If we had a way to Fulton recover anybody at any time.
What was that supposed to mean?
Don't carry any more gear than you need. If you try and stuff your entire arsenal into your backpack, it'll be too heavy and your mobility will be impaired. You'll only be hurting yourself.
I know. Take only what you need. Every rookie knows that.
You can check the weight of your gear before heading out. So make sure you do.
Got it.
Even a born warrior like you gets hand tremors, Snake. It happens even when you're full of stamina, and it only gets worse when you're tired, especially with larger, heavier weapons. Obviously, you'll get better aim crouching than you will standing. And when you use a scope, setting your sights on a single point will gradually give you a more precise aim. As we develop better weapons at Mother Base, though, you may gain access to new, low-tremor versions of the same guns. So if you expect the shakes to be a problem, you might want to put some resources into R&D.
I'll keep it in mind. Then again, the more you use a weapon, the more your hands get used to it. Sometimes it pays to be faithful to your gun.
Choosing the right uniform is crucial. Pick one that matches the mission objective and your own combat style.
Okay, cool.
Jungle fatigues are made for jungle combat. They provide decent protection and let you carry a fair number of weapons. Your standard uniform, basically. The distinguishing factor is that your camo index will vary a lot, depending on the area. Wear a pattern that makes you blend in with your surroundings, and your camo index goes up. Wear something that clashes, and you'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Pick the right pattern for the occasion. Sigint used to lecture me on it all the time.
Naked. That's exactly what you are with this uniform. The pants are the same as the jungle fatigues. Obviously, since you're exposing your bare skin, your defense and camo index are gonna be low. On the plus side, it's so light you can move around quicker.
Good for showing off muscles, too.
Hey, Snake, I heard they gave you your old code name because you used to run around with your shirt off. Is that true?
Don't believe everything you hear. They called me naked because I went in without gear or food. I had to procure everything on site.
You mean they sent you into the jungle without even a pair of pants? On a halo jump from 35,000 feet? Sweet Jesus, you are a legend.
You're busting my balls, aren't you, Kaz?
Little bit, yeah.
Hilarious.
Cooperative operations, or co-ops for short, is the term for taking on missions in teams of 2 or more. The basic co-ops unit is a 2-man cell.
Even a single teammate is great to have in enemy territory.
And there are actually quite a few things you can't do by yourself. You can help each other climb walls, divide up mission roles. On the other hand, if one of you is spotted, the other one's screwed too. And it's kind of tough for 2 people to hide in one small space.
Good point. But what's more important than anything is how close you are to your comrades.
Well said. Working as a 2-man cell can make the mission easier or harder, depending on how well you work together. It's also good to note that if you've got a clear, specific objective, it can be to your advantage to use an even bigger team. That said, teams of 3 or more run a much greater risk of being spotted.
Yeah. In a sneaking mission, the fewer people you have, the easier it is to get around.
In co-ops, you can trade weapons and equipment with your teammates. You can also display your teammates'
Do I need to see this? I don't think I'm going to be doing co-ops.
Ammo is shared too, of course.
Unfortunately.
Ammo, sure. How about life? That also shared?
Yep. You all sink or swim together. Your teammate dies, you die.
Sense.
You need to be within a certain distance of each other to swap items.
Yeah, I know. I've been in this business so long I can virtually see that distance. Looks kind of like a ring in my head.
That's why you're the boss. Okay, we'll call it the co-op ring. And entering the ring will be called going co-op in. Snake, about cardboard boxes. It feels kind of weird me explaining this stuff to you, but there have been a few recent developments of cardboard box technology. So just to be safe, here goes.
Go on.
You can do much more with the box than just hide under it. You can put it someplace and leave it there.
Huh?
You can get on top of it and use it to reach high places, or hide from the enemy in its shadow.
I like what I'm hearing so far.
And that's not all. You can even put items in it and send them to co-op's teammates.
Really? I never thought of any of that. Damn. Is there anything a cardboard box can't do? Every soldier should have one.
Yeah, well, don't get too excited. This isn't exactly what they were made for.
Which reminds me, don't you think the boxes around here are a little on the big side?
You're right. I bet 2 people could fit under one box, if they packed in tight enough. They call them love boxes.
Love boxes?
Of course, you don't need a love box to fit 2 people inside. Any box of similar size will do.
Oh, 2 men in a box.
Up to 2 people can fit inside a cardboard box.
Tell me how.
Move close to a box with a teammate inside, and an icon will appear. Then press the action button. You'll stay inside as long as the action button is pressed.
So, same as snake formation, huh?
Exactly the same. In fact, when you put on a cardboard box when snake in, both of you can climb inside.
A box big enough to hold me and my buddy. These are fine times we live in, hey, Kaz?
Yeah. Sure, boss. Snake, about that cassette player Galvez was carrying.
What about it?
That was no Russian imitation. It was the real deal. A prototype developed by a Japanese company.
Get out of here.
It's true. It had the Sony logo on it. The product name is Walkman.
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 It's a revolutionary new concept. Music you can listen to on the go. You can take it with you when you leave the house. I gave it a listen, and you wouldn't believe how good the sound quality is for something so tiny. And in stereo, too.
And in stereo? Oh my god.
Into it. And that tape is equally amazing. The treble range is clearly superior to any other cassette ever made. Stylish, too.
How'd Galvez get his hands on a model that's not even out yet?
Beats me. It's not the kind of thing I'd expect some stodgy Soviet to be into.
Me neither. Tell you what, though, it's a fine piece of work. It'll let me listen to my music when I want, where I want.
I never thought I'd hear you say that, but I have to agree. Me? I'm a recording freak, and I always used to laugh at the idea of a portable player. But now that I've seen it in action, I've changed my mind. Being able to take your music with you, this could be the start of a revolution in music.
Could be.
I'm having the guys at Mother Base study and analyze it. Who knows? They might be able to come up with something even better.
Okay, so the only thing I haven't listened to for Miller is the co-ops. I'm gonna hold off on pause. I'm gonna pause on pause. If I go to the next mission,
The direction Amanda sent it.
and if I go to the files, they appear to be different.
To get to your next objective,
So
you'll need to backtrack along the way you
I
came
have
from.
to go through the files.
Don't get too comfortable
for
just
each
because
mission.
you know the terrain.
And
The
it looks like
enemy
it
knows you're
adds
out
more
there now.
after I
They'll
finish
be
it
out
too.
in greater force than before. Proceed with caution. Refrain from using firearms unless absolutely necessary.
Looks like I'll have to cross the river.
Yeah. There's a suspension bridge you can use. It's the only way across. You'll have to be a little creative to keep from being spotted.
So, I cross the bridge, go through the swamp, and come to a banana plantation.
Complete with its own factory by the looks of it. It's going to feel a lot different moving through that area compared to the forest. Stay on your toes.
Got it.
Also, you may encounter Sandinista prisoners along the way. Try and save as many as you can with Fulton recovery.
I'll keep an eye out.
I feel like I need to do a mission. I don't know. I don't know what fatigues to wear. I mean, this is being everything except for jungle in the day. Why wouldn't I wear it? Let's just get it in there.
Careful. They've got reinforcements coming.
Snake, try to make contact with Amanda.
I will. What do I have equipped? Box? No, ration. I'm going north. Oh my goodness. I have to go back that way first. Probably.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
Cat hair. My nose.
I wish there was something I could do. Be strong, Snake.
Amanda went across that rope bridge. Hurry.
Made.
An explosion!
Oh. That's not where I'm supposed to do it.
We're under attack. Going to alert status.
Understood. Dispatching reinforcements. Proceed with extra caution.
Oops. Thought I could. Maybe I have to do. Equip the stun rod. Thought I could, like, quick equip.
Somebody there?
Behind the tree.
Can't be imagining things.
You absolutely are. It's an illusion.
HQ, come in!
This is HQ.
This is Patrol. All clear.
Understood. Return to base.
Okay, they can hear that.
Enemy attack! We're under attack!
That was my
Going
bad.
to alert status!
Understood. Maintain heightened alert.
Oops. I do need more troops. If you go to sleep, I'll recover you.
Huh? What's going on?
Don't wake him up.
Rise and shine.
God damn it.
What's going on? Rise and shine.
Alright, I'll just let him walk back.
HQ, come in!
This is HQ.
This is patrol. All clear.
Understood. Return to base.
Hit him.
Can't be imagining things. We're under attack. Going to alert status.
Understood. Dispatching reinforcements.
No, no reinforcements. Oops.
You might be able to get past the enemy by hanging from
Oh,
the
great
bridge.
idea.
Press the action button near the bridge's handrail to hang.
HQ, come in.
This is hang down when you're crouching.
All clear.
Understood. Return to base. Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Looks like we did it anyway. You any good? Nah. Can I go across the water now? Maybe it was blocked.
Wait. Somebody there?
Oh.
Can't be imagining things.
Ooh, what you got on you? Nope, get back down there.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Zoom in.
Can't be imagining things.
There we go.
Careful now. They might be holding FSLN soldiers prisoner.
And 5 more Boltons. Probably save them for prisoners. Can't get over there. Ooh, we got more. 100 people per mission. So many people. There's a dude. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. I want this one. Me.
To send a prisoner to Mother Base, equip the Fulton recovery system. To choose an item to use, hold the L2 button and press the square
Twin barrel
or circle
shotgun.
button.
Nice. We'll be using that because I'm doing all the stealth.
What's that? Guess.
Come on.
What's that noise? What?
Start talking.
I have.
Start talking. Start
Come on.
talking.
Where? Oh. Yeah, good. Not that I get to be picky, but I don't want no E ranks.
What's that noise?
Maybe if I have like a mini map, then they'll show me where the prisoner is on there. Maybe.
Start talking. Start talking.
Okay, then start talking.
Start talking.
The enemy's
Can't figure out what that's about.
enemy Enemy encounter. Request reinforcements.
Understood. Dispatching reinforcements now.
What's that? Is someone there? Guess not.
Oh, don't tell me he's gonna come down here.
Guess not. The enemy's close.
No. Oh, they're totally gonna come in here. This guy'll probably be useful.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Come in, HQ.
This is HQ.
This is patrol. Contact lost. Going to alert status.
Understood. The enemy should still be nearby. Find him.
Wonder if you can go back there. Oh, if there wasn't more prisoners that I could have saved. Maybe they'll be in the next area. Looks like flight helmets. A lot of boys.
Looks like there's no way around him. You up for this, Snake?
Got to fight. Oh god. Oh no. Be continued. So then maybe they let me grab a missile launcher. Tiger Stripe, oh, it's naked version.
Listen, boss. We both know you're the reason MSF's grown so much. But it's time we started putting more thought into provisions.
Good point. A place this big needs a good stockpile on hand.
The Japanese say you can't fight on an empty stomach. Something we learned in World War II.
Obviously. Maintaining a steady supply of provisions is one of the basic principles of logistics.
So I went ahead and set up a mess hall team. The team members' numbers and abilities will affect the amount of grub to go around. Without enough food, morale will drop. They get hungry enough, and we could start losing people. Anyway, I need you to assign guys to the mess hall team.
Copy that.
Maybe E guys will be the mess hall team. Nice. Sure. Ooh, it is in the top right. And get more morale. Alright. Auto sign. That's still going. Don't think I have anything else I can.
That's an armored vehicle unit, Snake. Either destroy the vehicle or neutralize the soldiers. Take it out.
Enemy tanks, armored vehicles, and attack choppers are always accompanied by a combat squad. The soldiers aren't particularly tough on their own. What makes them formidable is how well they work together as a team. As if you didn't have enough to worry about with the machine.
Good. I like a challenge.
Yeah, we'll see how you feel when you actually have to face them in battle. Snake, whatever you do, don't let them surround you. The last thing you need is to get pushed into the vehicle's kill zone. And pay attention to what your enemies say to each other. You can improve your chances by figuring out what they're planning and using it to preempt their movements. You don't always have to go toe-to-toe to win a fight. Think like a gorilla.
Got it.
Oh, library? Oh, okay. I can just switch to the library. Maybe? Is that what it's saying about this mission? Just got nothing. Oh.
There's a lot of banana cultivation along Costa Rica's Caribbean coast. The area is dotted with banana plantations. Bananas have been Costa Rica's main crop since they were introduced from Panama in the 19th century. They bring in a fair amount of foreign currency.
A real fruta de oro, huh?
See, but exporting all those bananas require a ton of land.
Hence all the plantations.
Clearing all that forest just to grow bananas robs animals of their habitats. I do not know how good that is for Costa Rica in the end.
Okay, I think I can access them all from here. Miller's got nothing else.
Costa Rica means rich coast in Spanish.
Is it true that Columbus was the one who came up with the name?
Your guess is as good as mine. But it is true that Columbus landed his ships near Limon back in the age of exploration. He wrote in his diary that when he landed, the indigenous showered him with gifts of gold, hence the name. It sounds a little strange to me. There's no way they could find that much gold in Costa Rica.
Columbus originally set sail in search of the legendary land of gold. Maybe he was just nuts about this stuff.
Costa Rica is rich enough without it. Look at the forests and the animals and the peace-loving people. That is what I want to protect.
I know how you feel.
Democracy took root in Costa Rica before anywhere else in Central America. Sure, we had coup and dictators and all, but never a total meltdown. That is, until 26 years ago.
The Civil War. Yeah. I understand you lost your grandparents.
It started with a dispute over alleged fraud in the presidential election. What I do not understand is why friend turned against friend, when they could have talked it out instead.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Even today, some buildings still have bullet holes from the Civil War. A quarter century later, and it is a tragedy we Ticos cannot forget, must not forget. It was the year after the Civil War that the army was constitutionally abolished. A new president was elected this year, President Oteber. He seems to be distancing himself from the United States. He has limited the privileges granted to American banks, lifted the sanctions on Cuba. Our last president was so pro-US, people suspected he was in bed with the CIA.
You think the CIA is doing this because it feels threatened by the president's shift in policy?
It is possible, but would they really bring in such a huge army just because of that?
Part of our job is finding out.
Exactly. Thanks, Snake. Peace.
Peace out, dog.
coffee you guys brought us is pretty damn good.
Isn't it? Costa Rican coffee is the best. The Central Basin has all the right conditions for growing coffee. It is high in elevation, with steady temperatures and well-drained volcanic soils.
The professor certainly seems attached to it.
The coffee we drank on the boat coming over was awful. It put him in such a terrible mood.
Well, how come I never hear about Costa Rican coffee then?
Because it gets bought up by wholesalers and mixed with beans from other countries. It is really a shame. Such wonderful beans, and nobody knows they are from Costa Rica.
They should launch an ad campaign or something.
Right. I hope one day people will recognize Costa Rican coffee for what it is.
I'm with you there.
One more. Let's do this little section and let's fight a tank.
Paz. You
APC.
said Costa Rica has no army, right?
Armored vehicle, whatever.
Article 12 of the Constitution declared that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished. It does permit us to organize armed forces for national defense based on inter-American treaties.
Only temporarily, then.
In effect, yes. But in the years since the Constitution took effect, Costa Rica has not once raised an army.
Paz, how does your country defend itself without an army? Especially in a rough neighborhood like Central America.
With the right kind of diplomacy. If we live up to our ideals and earn the respect of other countries, the international community will support us. The 2 times Nicaragua actually did invade, the conflict was resolved diplomatically under OAS auspices.
Doesn't that leave you depending on the U.S. after all?
American influence is unmatched, it is true. San Jose was critical of American policy at the time, but America supported us all the same. It was because we practiced peaceful diplomacy. That is what I like to think.
That's one way to approach it, sure. But there are countries out there who will use force no matter how bad it looks.
Maybe so. I know my way of thinking probably looks naive to you, but it is not like we expect peace without working for it. Diplomacy is a battle in itself, and we have to make the effort to seek out causes of misfortune and nip them in the bud. It was that kind of thinking that got me trapped in their base.
I'm not blaming you. You haven't done anything wrong.
The Army was abolished 25 years ago, the year after the Civil War. I learned about the sorrow of civil war from a very young age, the futility of countrymen fighting each other, and the tragedy. Costa Rica learned the hard way. That is why it abolished its army. It decided to pour its efforts into education instead. More teachers than soldiers was the slogan.
Education is essential, no question. Even Che used to teach reading and writing in between guerrilla campaigns.
Costa Rica was poor at the time. We did not have many resources. I suppose we had to pick one or the other. The military or the schools.
Kaz was telling me Japan has a peace constitution too.
That is right. Apparently when Costa Rica was drafting its constitution, they looked to the Japanese as a model. Only Japan's constitution renounces war itself.
Unlike Costa Rica.
But Japan has a self-defense force, right? That I do not get. I think I will ask Mr. Miller about it next time I see him. He said he used to be in the JSDF.
Huh. You're a curious one, are you? Don't study too hard. What was that you were saying? Peace is not the natural state of men. You said you learned it in school.
That is right. They are the words of the German philosopher Immanuel Kant. In 1795, he wrote a book titled Perpetual Peace. Kant argued that it is precisely because peace is unnatural that we have to make it ourselves.
How?
That is what his book is about. Is the concept starting to sound interesting now?
Not really. I belong in a more natural world.
Is that so? My grandparents died in the Civil War. If only we had been at peace, they would not have lost their lives. You actually wish for war?
It's not like I want to hurt innocent civilians, but if someone attacks you, what are you supposed to do? A country needs the strength to defend itself. Otherwise it faces invasion, oppression, political subjugation.
If they would simply stop using force to tangle with each other, countries would not need force to defend themselves.
And how would you guarantee that? Sorry, but you have to understand how the world works in order to protect the ones you love. That's not to say ideals aren't important too. They are.
You are right, Snake. Thanks. Peace.
No. Alright, we'll come back to you, Paz. I got an armored vehicle, fuck up. Maybe need smoke grenade? Where's my weight? You can only bring 2 weapons, I guess. Ooh. Better wait here anywhere. No. Oh. Weight is 7 kilograms. But I don't know how much I can take care of. I don't know how much I can take without being fatigued or something like that. Do I start? Alerted? Nope.
No need to take out the armored vehicle just yet. Neutralize the troops first. The accompanying soldiers are armed to the teeth. Watch yourself.
Sniper would have been lovely here.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
There's probably no point in using this. I know it's loud. So if I shoot here, I can't really hide anywhere.
Enemies close by! The enemy's attacking! Going to alert status!
Oh shit.
Move in!
Enemies? Oh fuck. Ow, ow.
I'm done for! I'm done for!
Load, load. How many do I have? 3 more? grenades. Eh. Oh boy. You know I'm here.
Go around!
I think so. Yeah. I got 10 more grenades. I think I can do it. Ugh. Hard to aim. Cool. I'm out of ammo on that. Okay. I don't know, dude. I'm sort of out of ammo. What's this? What's this? Law. Oh, okay. That works. Oh.
Come on home.
Neat. That was a big boy. separate. Ooh.
Amanda!
Shoot it!
You'll fall!
Shoot el Chico Libri!
But you're gonna die. Just gonna dodge again. Fuck.
I will take my own life before I set
Uh-oh.
my copas under torture.
Amanda,
Chico.
what? What is it?
Can you roll me one? Tobacco.
Oh, yeah.
Chico.
Hold still.
I treated him like a kid again. We fought. I didn't want Chico to know. Kept it a secret. Somoza's Guardia chased us out of Nicaragua. Across the Rio San Juan. And we ended up here. The only reason we've been able to keep on fighting.
Amanda,
The factory. You saw it?
the banana factory.
A front. It's a drug refining plant. The KGB set it up for us to run. We used the income to buy food and weapons. Mi viejo never said a word, but we all knew. Everyone except Chico. Everything we have.
Okay.
Our weapons, our compass. He brought it all together.
Okay,
We were
you
going
can't.
to rebuild our country. Rebuild Nika
It's so weird.
with our own hands. Even if we had to dirty our hands to do it. But it's all over. We lost our cacique. Papa. I could never replace him. Now they've taken the plant from us too. There's no place
okay,
left
that
to
also zooms in.
regroup. No way to fight la revolución.
Here, I rolled you one.
Lighter's working again.
What about you? You're going after that cargo?
Yeah,
Must be important,
looks that way. It looks like it could be nukes.
What? Nukes? Madre de Dios. No time to waste. We must get to Irasu. The transport route leads there. It must be where they're holding Chico and my compas too. Whenever Chico and I argue, he goes off to be by himself. That's why he knows more than anybody about their bases. Oh, Chico.
You're pretty worried about your baby brother.
This is why I'm not fit to be a leader.
Fine. It's a little bit out of my way, but just tell me where I need to go.
There's a prison up in the mountains. That's probably where he is.
A little bit. That's pretty far away into the mountains.
You must do something for me. If you can't save Chico, I want you to ease his pain, end his humiliation. If he gives in, if he's about to sell out his compass, please, at least let him keep his honor.
That's a promise I can't make.
Why?
Amanda, we gave up our homes, but we're still alive. We're still fighting. And there's always another reason to keep on living.
I feel alive again.
Amanda, join my unit until you've healed up.
Your unit?
Yeah,
Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Snake. Serviente.
Snake?
There's some help.
Could it
Work.
be the great cacique has come to lead us?
Kaz, can you hear me?
MSF here.
One for recovery. She's wounded.
Acknowledged.
Kaz, the cargo on the barge. I was right. It's headed for the mountains.
You think that's where they're taking the nukes?
I'm sure of it. Let's move.
On the way to the nukes. But we're also saving Chico. That's to the side there. Cam would be this way. This way. We captured it. I can drive it. Tortilla chips. Huh. Weapon item. I can use those too. Stage shown versus.
Snake, Amanda's reached the plant.
Snake,
Amanda, how do you feel?
Looks a lot different there.
first helicopter ride. I'll be perfectly happy if it's my last.
As you can see, she's doing fine. I set Amanda up with her own frequency, so call her anytime you need to.
If you have any questions about American bases or mercenary units, or about El Frente, just ask. And please, do not forget my compass and Chico.
Don't worry.
It's good to be working with you, boss.
Snake, we can monitor her condition in sickbay. Remember to assign roles to any POWs you bring back to Mother Base. How this outfit gets built depends on who we assign to what jobs. That'll determine how Mother Base grows. It's one of your most important roles, boss.
Yeah, I know.
Boss, one more thing.
Now what?
It's about sickbay. Naturally, we can use it for the sick or injured like we did with Amanda. But we can't expect people to get better without the proper treatment.
Uh-huh.
So I figure we'll need a medical team for that. The number of team members and their abilities will determine how quickly the sick and injured heal. They can also monitor everybody's health.
Right. Prevention is the best medicine.
You got it. Remember to wash your hands often and gargle twice a day, boss.
If only
How am
I
I gonna
had
do
the
that in the
time.
jungle? We'll go to Mother Base. And then we'll do another save. And I think that's gonna be... it's gonna be it for me. Back. Connection now available. Warning. Okay. We will look at all of that next time. We have to do the work tomorrow morning, and I am the big sad about it. So, I'm gonna chill and get some food too. And then I'm gonna do some snooze. Friday, I'm planning to stream. Conrad might ditch me, so we'll see if he'll be there. Maybe we'll continue Dark Souls, or I'll just continue this. But Friday, I'll try my best to do Friday stream. Maybe we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.